This Impact Wrestling review was brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Try it, and busty bikini models will mud wrestle in your backyard. You'll have to excuse me if I seem out of sorts this week. I've had a lousy few days. Christmas was no fun at all. Santa apparently did not pay us a visit this year. It was so depressing. I run to the tree on Christmas morning all excited, and there's no presents there. Absolutely none. What's worse is that Fourth Dimension Fool Killer didn't get that new shotgun he wanted, and he has been in a foul mood ever since. Even worse than usual. Now, I can understand that bastard being on the naughty list, but I thought I'd at least get one present. I was good. I behaved all year long. But I don't get anything? Not even a crappy card? Did Santa just forget about me or something? What gives?
Merry Christmas!
Why do you hate me, Santa Claus? Why? And now on to Impact. You know, as much as I love the holiday season, I'm glad it'll be over by the time next Thursday rolls around, because hopefully then TNA will finally knock it off with all these damn filler shows. I swear, for the last several weeks, it just feels like nothing has happened. There's been little to no forward progression in any of the storylines, and this show is no different. It's almost like TNA just admitted to everyone that nothing on this show really matters until Sting comes back, and they're barely gonna bother to show up until then. 1-3-13, oh my god, Sting is coming back! Again! To take revenge on the Aces and Eights and finally rid TNA of these evil sons of bitches! Which means exactly fuck all. Because the Aces and Eights have zero credibility left as a viable threat to anyone because they lose matches constantly. Samoa Joe challenges one of them, has a match with the Armbreaker, beats him pretty quickly, then easily escapes the rest of the Aces and Eights when they try to attack him. And this seems like it's happening more and more often as time goes on. Wow. This faction is so dangerous, so diabolical, so absolutely unstoppable that only the icon Sting can save TNA now, right? Everyone else is just hopelessly outmatched by the merciless, unstoppable tidal wave of destruction that is the Aces and Eights.
I will not participate in this charade this evening.
TNA, the Aces and Eights can't even win a fucking match lately. They pose no threat to anyone right now, so why the fuck do you think Sting coming back to take revenge on them is such a big deal? Newsflash. It's not. Number one, it's like the 5th time Sting has come back like this. Number two, everyone else seems quite capable of beating these clowns without Sting's help, so where's the drama? Where's the anticipation? There isn't any. Sting is coming back to beat up a bunch of jobbers. And you think that adding Ken Anderson to the group in a half-assed move that was obviously not the original plan is going to make people give a shit about the Aces and Eights at this point? Anderson has been doing absolutely nothing for months. They haven't pushed him like he meant anything in a lot longer than that. I can't even remember the last time he was on TV. And the sad thing is, compared to that, I'm honestly not sure if joining the Aces and Eights would be a step up or a step down for him right now. That's how underwhelming this felt. It's like, hey look, it's Anderson, he's back. And we're just gonna put him in this faction that's losing all the damn time. Because that's exciting, right? No, TNA, it's not. You know what I'd get excited about? The Aces and Eights going away forever, so the writers could finally stop polluting the product with this boring-ass go-nowhere storyline.
Nobody cares about you guys.
Speaking of going nowhere, let's talk about some of the other storylines on this show. Hogan is still really angry and irrational about how his daughter made the Beast with 2 backs with Bully Ray on his kitchen table, and Bully Ray is still pissed off that Hogan doesn't trust him. Bully Ray has gotten me to enjoy this storyline more than I thought I would, but something it's missing is a reason why he cares so much about this. Why does Bully Ray, of all people, care so much about whether Hogan trusts him or not? I would think that a guy like Bully Ray would be one of the last people who would give a flying crap about what Hulk Hogan thinks. Maybe all the countless hours he's spent exploring Brooks' nether regions have changed his opinion of Hogan or something, but that's never been made clear. It hasn't been explained to us. And now, apparently Brooke and Bully are both suffering from short-term memory loss or something, because in an exchange that Todd Kennelly correctly called awkward and uncomfortable, Brooke nervously informs Bully that Hogan now knows about their relationship.
What the fuck?
Didn't he learn about their relationship fucking weeks ago when Austin Aries revealed it to the whole damn world on national TV? Shouldn't they have had this conversation then?
This whole show is ridiculous!
So then they take off, and that's the end of that. No progression there at all. This being open fight night, Kenny King thinks Bob Van Dam is going to challenge him, what with him getting the best of Van Dam a couple of times recently. But then Van Dam cuts a terrible promo challenging Christian York instead, beats him, and Kenny never shows up. Couldn't Kenny have just challenged Van Dam if he wanted to face him so bad? As per the rules of open fight night, Van Dam would have to accept. If Van Dam did this to piss Kenny off, that's one thing, but Kenny never did anything about it. So, basically, this was done just to remind us that Kenny and Van Dam are feuding. But, again, no progression. Bad Influence and Los Stereotypicos have another match. It probably goes too long, or maybe it just seemed that way because Los Stereotypicos are boring as hell and we all knew what the finish would be. And the faces win again clean. Again, no progression. At least in this segment, Bad Influence had a really entertaining promo before the match. And this is one of the reasons why these guys are so great. Self-awareness. Kaz and Daniels are very aware of how stupid the situation is that they're in, so they're just poking fun at the whole thing, saying that nobody wants Claire Lynch to come back, and that Daniels and AJ have had a million matches, and they said the last one was the last one ever, but no one believes that it was, so they were just basically flat out saying that it was just the last one until the next one, and making a joke out of it. These guys are a riot. And Kaz, oh my god! His impression of AJ was so dead on. He was trying to be funny, and he was funny, but I could have sworn he was channeling AJ's spirit there for a minute. That's how accurate this impression was. Good lord. Kazarian should get an award for Most Improved Mic Skills of the Year based on the work he's been doing lately. Of course, then Chavo had to ruin the fun by cutting an awful promo of his own. TNA really just need to keep the mic away from him and Hernandez.
They have nothing intelligent to say.
Gail Kim challenged Brooke Tessmacher to a match that seemed completely random. It was nice to see both women back, and they always have good matches. I'm just struggling with the reason why this match was even there. It didn't seem to be booked for any particular reason. Gail wins clean, which is kind of surprising. If I had to guess, I would think that if Velvet is going to be going for the Knockouts title soon, which I assume she will, they're probably going to want Gail to be close by, because, let's face it, if they want to push Velvet seriously, they need to surround her with women that can make her look good in the ring, and not every Knockout can do that. Gail has pulled decent matches out of Velvet in the past, and they may need her to do that again before too long, so I guess it makes sense to get her back in the mix. It's kind of a shame that Tessmacher's push is over for now. Also a shame that the writers just seem to forget about this storyline of Tessmacher having Gail's number. Apparently, that's just gone now with no explanation. Plot hole! But I do appreciate that we've been getting some variation in the knockout matches recently. It's not just the same 2 or 3 women over and over again. They've been changing it up a little bit, at least in the last few weeks. That's refreshing. They still need some new knockouts, but it's nice to see them getting a little more use out of the women they have. That was not the case for quite a while. What? The hell? Oh, God. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened just now. All I remember is hearing the words bro off, and then suddenly everything went black. I think I lost consciousness for a minute. I didn't even see the segment. I can't review it now. I'll have to outsource this one. Fool Killer from 24 hours ago. You're up. Filler? This segment aspires to be filler. The Bad Influence promo was filler, but at least they used their time to do something entertaining. Robbie just played the jackass like he always does. And Robbie E., you worthless, no-talent clown! You just got shown up by Rob freaking Terry! Think about that and cry! In one of the few segments of the night that seemed to actually be advancing a feud or a storyline, Austin Aries cut a good promo challenging Bobby Roode. And this was great because they're showing that Aries actually has a set of balls. It's really nice to see that every heel in wrestling doesn't inevitably have to turn into a chicken shit heel, unlike what WWE would have us believe. Their match is the main event, as it should be. Some really entertaining stuff here, with them both trying to out-heel each other to the point where Earl Hebner just lost it and they threw him out of the ring. That was funny. And then Hardy attacks both of them, and that's how the show ended. Nothing terribly original here, but at least they were actually building a feud for Genesis, a pay-per-view for which not a single match has been announced yet, by the way. What an uneventful way to end 2012. There weren't any bad matches here. The wrestling was fine. Although with Joe versus the Armbreaker, I cared so little about it that I could barely pay attention. But most of this show was just the product continuing to tread water. I get that you think no one's going to be watching because you're in between Christmas and New Year's, but that's no reason to deliver a show that's so completely skippable. No joke, I really felt like I could have skipped Impact this week and not missed anything important. They've obviously just been killing time until 1/3/13, but so what? So what? That's pointless. The return of Sting doesn't mean anything because the Aces and Eights don't mean anything. That's because their leader is a fucking idiot. Time for us to have a little chat, asshole. About what? About this. Where did you get that? Never mind where I got it. So, you're broke, huh? Awfully fat bank account for a penniless man. Well, I have to eat, don't I? And God knows you never pay for anything. And you spend all the rest of my money at the strip club. If I didn't keep some money hidden away, I'd starve to death. So that's the story you're going with, huh? Well, you're not fooling me. Money for food, my ass. This is the money that you've been using to finance the Aces and Eights. And I'm gonna prove it. And when I do, I'm gonna nail your ass to the wall, dickless! To the fucking wall! And you have my permission to worship me! Now. Shit.